And now to the Middle East, where all is not well in Israel, as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government is in serious trouble. One of his key coalition partners, the Ultra-Orthodox Party United Torah Judaism, or UTJ, has announced it's leaving the government over a long-running dispute regarding draft exemptions for religious seminary students. 6 of the 7 remaining UTJ lawmakers have handed in their resignation letters accusing the government of failing to protect yeshiva students from military conscription. The party is made up of 2 factions, both of which have withdrawn from the coalition.
Since the authorities have made clear their intention to increase the hardship faced by Torah learners in various ways, through efforts to humiliate and trample them, I therefore believe that participation in the government and coalition must immediately end, including the resignation from all related positions.
The statement followed the Israeli Army's announcement earlier this month that it would begin issuing draft notices to 54,000 ultra-Orthodox men who were previously exempt, a move prompted by the expiration of a temporary legal arrangement.
The Army will begin this week issuing summons to complete the enlistment process for ultra-Orthodox men whose status as yeshiva, religious seminary, students is no longer valid following the expiration of the previous legal arrangement. Draft notices will be sent out in waves throughout the month of July, eventually totaling 54,000 call-up orders.
Now, under a decades-old agreement, Haredi men who study full-time in yeshivas were exempted from military service. But that deal has been repeatedly challenged in Israel's Supreme Court, especially as the country remains embroiled in a war in Gaza. Last year, the court ruled that the Defense Ministry must begin conscripting seminary students, a ruling that is now being enforced. The move has outraged ultra-Orthodox parties who say religious study is a foundational principle and that their communities should not be subject to the draft in the same way as other Israelis. The UTJ says Prime Minister Netanyahu has promised to pass a new law to protect exemptions when they joined the coalition back in 2022, but failed to deliver. Now, ultra-Orthodox lawmakers have long threatened to leave the coalition over the conscription bill. In fact, last month they threatened to support an opposition motion to dissolve parliament. But now, with some members of the UTJ leaving, Benjamin Netanyahu's coalition has shrunk to a slim majority, just 61 seats in the 120-seat Knesset. Now attention turns to another major ultra-Orthodox party which has not yet left the government but has issued its own warnings. If it too withdraws, the coalition would lose its majority entirely, dropping to just 50 seats. Meanwhile, the timing couldn't be worse for Netanyahu, who's already under fire over his handling of the war in Gaza and facing growing domestic protests.
We're here to exert pressure on the Israeli government and all the other parties involved to get to a hostage deal as soon as possible, because our friends, our comrades, our brothers are in Gaza, and it's about time to end this war. That is what we think.
And on the same day the coalition fractured, the military announced that 3 more Israeli soldiers had been killed during fighting in Gaza, placing even more pressure on the government. So with a 3-month Knesset recess reportedly set to begin on July 27th, Netanyahu now has days, not months, to salvage his government. And with war, political fallout, and public anger all converging, Israel's leadership crisis may just be getting started.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
$36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor,
Hindi,
$30 trillion ka kaljo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Sekali radikali.
Japanese,
$4 idioma.
Portuguese,
Por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select the language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.